Friends, let's talk about Mercedes-Benz. You know that brand that used to make cars so solid you could crash them into a brick wall and the wall would apologize? Yeah, well, now they want us to believe the new CLA is revolutionary. Before we get into it, don't forget to subscribe to Technomaniacs. We test cars, mock them, admire them, and sometimes just sit in them questioning our life choices. So hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Otherwise, you might wake up one day and find out that Mercedes has put a touchscreen on the steering wheel and you missed the whole meltdown. So, Mercedes first teased the CLA in 2023, whispering sweet nothings about its futuristic tech. They told us it was inspired by the Vision EQXX concept, which is like saying your new microwave was inspired by the International Space Station. Sounds impressive, but in reality, it just heats things up. And now, the production car is here. And yeah, the range is solid, about 400 miles on a single charge for the base model. But that's where the party ends. The CLA is basically a car with an identity crisis. Regulators are screaming, "Go electric," while customers are clinging to their gas engines like they're holding onto the last roll of toilet paper during a pandemic. Meanwhile, Chinese EV brands are sitting in the corner, selling cars for half the price and laughing. Mercedes' solution? Build a car that does everything. It's electric, it's gas-powered, it's a hybrid, it's confused. The CLA rides on the new Mercedes-Benz modular architecture, MA. Now, this sounds fancy, but all it really means is that Mercedes couldn't decide what they wanted, so they made a platform that can do both combustion and electric. That's like designing a sneaker that can also be a dress shoe. It works, but nobody's going to be happy about it. And let's talk about the weight. The CLA 350 tips the scales at 4,706 pounds. That's heavier than a short wheelbase S-Class. So now we have an efficient electric car that weighs more than the CEO's office chair. The gas-powered version will be lighter, sure, but still nowhere near as light as it should be. And then there's the design. Mercedes actually made a dedicated EV platform for the EQE and EQS, but those cars looked like melted bars of soap, so nobody bought them. Now, BMW is coming out with a proper EV-only platform, while Mercedes is over here doing the automotive equivalent of hedging their bets, like a gambler who plays every number on the roulette table and then acts surprised when they lose money. But hey, there is some cool tech in here. The CLA gets an 800-volt charging system, new in-house electric motors, silicon carbide inverters, a 2-speed transmission for the rear motor, and a more energy-dense battery pack. Sounds great, right? Well, they also managed to give it the worst instincts of modern Mercedes-Benz. The interior is peak 2020s Mercedes. Buttons are extinct, screens are everywhere, and the ambient lighting looks like the inside of a nightclub. I haven't even sat in this car yet, and I already know that adjusting the air conditioning will require navigating 3 separate menus, 2 voice commands, and a minor emotional breakdown. Oh, and did I mention it has an AI-powered in-car radio app made in partnership with will.i.am? Because when I think of cutting-edge automotive technology, my first thought is always, you know who should be involved? The guy from the Black Eyed Peas. Mercedes really wanted us to think of the CLA as a return to the glory days, maybe something like the legendary 190E. That car was built with precision, no-nonsense engineering, and a commitment to performance. And this is, well, it's got lights. Lots of lights. Look, I get it. Mercedes can't make cars like they did 40 years ago. The world has changed. But after all the hype, I just don't see this CLA as the car that's going to bring Mercedes back to the top. Anyway, if you want more brutally honest car reviews, subscribe to Technomaniacs. And if for some reason you still want to check out the new CLA, there's a link to the official product website in the video description. And now, if you'll excuse me, I'm off to Google how to turn off the rapper's voice in my car, because the last thing I need when I start the engine is will.i.am telling me to pump it louder.